chapter for summary. Angelica, craving luxury, argues with her partner Alex, who doesn't understand her. Frustrated, she meets a wealthy stranger on the beach who offers her the glamorous life she desires in his company. Torn between loyalty to Alex and alluring luxury, Angelica faces a moral dilemma.
Chapter 4.
The Temptation of Wealth.
The cool ocean breeze whipped through Angelica's hair as she stormed down the beach, her mind reeling with a whirlwind of emotions. Anger, hurt, and disappointment warred within her, the familiar feeling of resentment towards Alex's limitations bubbling to the surface. How dare he not understand the importance of this concert to her? Didn't he see that this was her chance to finally break free from the confines of their modest existence and experience the glamour and excitement she had always craved? Angelica's footsteps quickened as she replayed the argument in her mind, Alex's well-intentioned but frustratingly practical words echoing in her ears. She had thought he, of all people, would understand her need to venture beyond the mundane and embrace a life of luxury and status. But instead, he had balked at the idea, unwilling to sacrifice their meager budget for the sake of her dreams. "It's not fair," she muttered under her breath, her fingers clenching into tight fists. "I deserve so much more than this simple, ordinary life." As Angelica continued to storm down the beach, her vision blurred with unshed tears. The rhythmic crash of the waves against the shore only served to heighten her sense of frustration, the once soothing sound now grating on her nerves. It was then that she noticed a figure in the distance, silhouetted against the setting sun. Curiosity piqued. Angelica slowed her pace, her eyes narrowing as she attempted to make out the stranger's features. As the figure drew closer, Angelica's breath caught in her throat. The man was tall and distinguished, his impeccably tailored suit and coiffed gray hair immediately signaling his affluence. He moved with an effortless grace, his gaze sweeping across the beach before settling on Angelica. Their eyes met, and Angelica felt a jolt of electricity course through her. There was an intensity in the man's gaze that made her pulse quicken, a sense of power and allure that she found both intriguing and unsettling. "My dear, are you all right?" the man asked, his voice a rich baritone that seemed to caress her senses. "You look quite distressed." Angelica hesitated, suddenly self-conscious of the tears that had threatened to spill from her eyes. I'm fine, thank you," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. The man tilted his head, his brow furrowing with concern. "Forgive me, but you seem quite troubled. Perhaps I can be of assistance?" He took a step closer, his gaze never wavering from her face. Angelica felt a flutter of trepidation, but there was something about this man's presence that captivated her. She found herself drawn to the aura of power and sophistication that seemed to emanate from him, a stark contrast to the modest, unassuming Alex. I'm just having a disagreement with my companion," she admitted, her voice tinged with a hint of embarrassment. "He doesn't understand my desire for a more extravagant lifestyle." The man's lips curled into a sympathetic smile. I see. It can be quite difficult when one's partner does not share our ambitions and desires." He paused, his gaze sweeping over Angelica's elegant form. "Tell me, my dear, what is it that you truly crave?" Angelica felt a flush of heat rise to her cheeks, unsure of how to respond to the man's direct question. I want to experience the glamour and excitement that I've always dreamed of," she confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. "The luxury, the recognition, the admiration." The man nodded, his expression thoughtful. "And why, my dear, should you not be able to have those things? You are a woman of exceptional beauty and grace. Surely you deserve to be treated as the exquisite treasure that you are." Angelica felt a flutter of hope rise within her chest. "But how? My companion, he cannot provide the kind of life I desire." The man's gaze darkened, a hint of something predatory flickering in his eyes. "Perhaps it is time you considered other options, my dear. Options that would allow you to truly flourish and bask in the adoration you so rightfully deserve." Angelica's heart raced, a mixture of excitement and trepidation coursing through her veins. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The man stepped closer, his hand reaching out to gently caress her cheek. "I sense a kindred spirit in you, my dear, a woman of exquisite beauty and ambition, trapped in a life that does not do her justice." He paused, his thumb tracing the delicate line of her jaw. "I believe I can offer you the life you've always dreamed of, a life of luxury, privilege, and the admiration you so deserve." Angelica felt a shiver run down her spine at his touch, her mind racing with the implications of his words. Could this stranger truly be the key to unlocking the glamorous existence she had always craved? The thought was both thrilling and terrifying. "But what would I have to do?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly. The man's lips curled into a knowing smile. "Simply allow me to provide for you, my dear, to shower you with the lavish comforts and adoration that you so rightfully deserve." He leaned in, his breath warm against her ear. "All I ask in return is that you give me the privilege of your company and affection." Angelica felt her heart pounding in her chest, the weight of his words settling over her like a heavy cloak. This was the opportunity she had been waiting for, the chance to escape the limitations of her modest existence and embrace the life of luxury and status she had always dreamed of. But as she stood there, the gentle caress of the man's fingers on her skin, a nagging sense of guilt tugged at the back of her mind. Alex's kind, steadfast face flashed in her memory, a reminder of the simple joys they had once shared. Sensing her hesitation, the man drew back, his eyes narrowing. "My dear, I can see the conflict in your eyes, but I assure you, this is the chance you've been waiting for, a chance to truly live the life you deserve, free from the constraints of your current circumstances." Angelica swallowed hard, her gaze flickering between the man's persuasive expression and the distant outline of the hotel where Alex waited. The temptation was overwhelming, the promise of a lavish, glamorous existence too alluring to ignore. With a deep breath, Angelica made her decision. "What must I do?" she asked, her voice laced with a newfound determination. The man's lips curved into a triumphant smile, and he extended his hand. "Come with me, my dear, and let me show you the wonders that await." Angelica hesitated for only a moment before reaching out and placing her hand in his, her heart racing with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. As the two of them walked away, the distant sound of the crashing waves seemed to carry a mournful, bittersweet note, a faint echo of the life she was about to leave behind.
Pulse on, can't slow down, in the lights we glow. Feel the rush, take the crown, to the beat we flow. No stop, can't let up now, the sound is all we know. We are alive in the glow. We are alive in the show. We are alive in the flow. We are alive, feel the power grow. Hands up, no backseat, under stars we rise. Feel the bass in the heat, lose sense of time. Can't stop in this heartbeat, feel the rhythm, close your eyes. We are alive in the glow. We are